Hello there, welcome to my presentation. My name is Rohaib Ahmed and I'm a final year student at City University, currently studying Aeronautical Engineering. I have an interest in computer technology, so this is why I chose to do this project as it was quite interesting to me. The title of the project is Cloud Computing CFD Analysis of a Twin Screw Compressor. The main aim of my project was to compare two different platforms, one being a local platform and one being SCORG Alto, the platform I'm going to talk about today. Main objectives were to analyze the performance of a screw compressor. I was going to evaluate in-depth SCORG Alto and compare the features of SCORG Alto to a local computer. I would gather results on SCORG Alto and gather results on my local computer, and I would compare them in terms of efficiency and reproducibility and how hardware utilization and things like that. To gather one of my results, I was using SCORG. SCORG is a software which allows users to be able to design and analyze positive displacement machines. I would be using a commercial CFD software, ANSYS CFX, to perform my CFD calculations. It says, is cloud computing the future? So cloud computing means that you can access a computer with the aid of an internet connection. So it's a computer that's located away from you, so not in your location, but with the aid of an internet connection, you can access that computer. So it's very beneficial, especially in the current climate during the pandemic where people were forced to not go to work, not go to university. And if all their work was at uni, there could be a problem like accessing it. So with cloud computing, this was possible. And because of cloud computing, a lot of offices, a lot of businesses, a lot of educational institutions, they were allowed to operate because of this technology. In terms of some results that I gathered from my project, I compared the connection speed of SCORG Alto and a local PC. It's quite important because when you're using like a computer, you want to make sure that your internet speed is good and then you're not suffering from any delays or something like that. But as you can see, my local PC, I had 72 Mbps down speed and 18 upload speed, which is good. It's above the UK average, but when you compare it to SCORG Alto with 500 basically download speed and 900 upload speed, you can just see that this is so much more faster than anything you can get really. Another thing I compared is how the hardware behaves when performing CFD calculations. So this screenshot was captured whilst doing ANSYS CFX simulations. So you can see the differences between how they behave. This is the local PC. This is the SCORG Alto PC. My local PC was only using 28% of its CPU, whilst this one was using 54, but it was jumping like between 50 and 60. My one was using more RAM, and this one was using a bit less RAM. Yeah, you can see the differences between how they were utilizing. And this is for an oil injected. So for an oil injected, it's more heavier, so therefore more hardware is used. As you clearly see, that key difference is the SCORG Alto was at 100%. This is using 4 cores. So my local PC has 8 cores, so therefore that's why it had it was at 61%. But yeah, so you can see the differences. However, I would like to point out, even though my PC was using more RAM, it has a faster CPU speed. When it came to the results from ANSYS CFX for both compressors, SCORG Alto was faster in every single test I did, even though it was using less resources. So to keep it fair, I had like a set of iterations and I matched it on both computers. So this started from 450 to 460 and I was using 2 cores. So my PC took 36 minutes and the virtual PC took 19 minutes. And this is the same trend for all the results that I gathered. SCORG Alto was much faster. If a company was going to think about using a local platform or SCORG Alto, they can see from these results anyways that SCORG Alto is much faster in tests that were conducted.
Thank you so much for your presentation. And now let us turn to the question and answer session. How do you find using SCORG software?
I think the software is really easy to use and I really like the GUI. It makes it clear to like what the user is doing. And I like the fact that it gives you like graphs and reports about the machine you're analyzing. In my case, it was the displacement machine. And I also like the fact at the end you can get a 3D view of it, like a whole 360-degree view of it, and it makes it easy and yeah, it's really user friendly.
Thank you. How did you learn and get trained?
The majority of my learning came from the easy to follow tutorials that are inside the root folder called Alto. So it's a PDF file and it gives you like step-by-step instructions on like if you want to make like a 3-4 rotor configuration, and then it goes through all the steps to like how you would change the geometry, how you would analyze it. And that was very useful. And the webinars as well, I found very useful. I also like the fact that on the webinar someone's talking over it, so it makes it really clear about what it is. And they have the handbook as well. So if you want any more extra details about how to use the software or something, there's the handbook available.
Thank you. Could you tell us more about your experience with cloud computing and SCORG Alto?
I found that it was very easy using SCORG Alto. The process to purchase it is also very simple, and I like the user interface of the SCORG Alto portal. It's got very big icons with clear information like days used, days left. So the user will never be like looking for how many days and things I have left. I like the fact that when your computer is about to expire, SCORG Alto like tells you, emails you in advance saying that, oh, if you want to extend it, you can, and this is how many days you have left. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think it was very easy experience using School Jota, and I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. How has SCORG Alto impacted your engineering educational experience?
Before this project, I wasn't aware about that you can even do CFD calculations in the cloud. And after this project, I realized the potential cloud computing has and how useful it is. I also realized that it would have been really useful for me as a uni student because I was always transferring files from my local PC to my uni PC. So if I had like a cloud computer or something like that, it would have made it like really much easier.
Were your project objectives met?
Yeah, my project objectives were met. So the key ones was to compare the results from Scorch Alto and a local PC. So I did do some comparisons. So this is one in terms of connection speed, in terms of hardware utilization for a dry one, an oil one, and the key result is the efficiency, how quick it takes to do the iterations.
Thank you. What were your main outcomes and achievements of your work?
The main outcomes was first of all to use the platform called Alto in itself, compare the results as I previously shown, to run and use Scourge on the virtual computer and not just my local one.
Thank you. And how was CFD modeling and analysis done with SCORG Alto?
So there was a problem using my mesh directly from Scourge because it was too big to analyze. So my co-supervisor, he sent me a smaller case to perform the calculations. So I imported that model into ANSYS CFX and started performing CFD calculations that way.
What were the technical challenges faced and how they were overcome? Any examples?
One challenge was that there's no graphics card installed onto your virtual computer. Therefore, you couldn't do any post CFX work, and you couldn't see the model of the compressor. It would just be a black screen, but it couldn't overcome that because couldn't we didn't install a graphics card. But other than that, there was no other major challenges involved.
Was there anything that didn't work as it should?
The virtual computer did not crash despite doing really heavy hardware demanding calculations. I did notice that whilst doing 4-core oil injected calculations that the CPU usage went up to 100%, but it did not crash. One more thing was because of the lack of graphics cards, I tried to do some basic Paint 3D work, but I was not able to do that because there was just so much delay and jittering.
What do you like the most about SCORG Alto?
I like that it's got such a fast internet connection speed, so online you'll never be like slowing down or anything like that. Core Jota was very easy to navigate and easy to find my way around it. The portal was really user friendly and it was very clear. It's really easy to connect to. I like the color system as well. It was quite appealing. One more thing that was really useful is the portal tells you that when your computer is running and when it's not with the red dot. So that's quite easy for someone to see. And as I say, the purchasing process is very simple as well. And you get lots of email regarding like key information and the price and duration. So you never miss out. When performing CFD calculation, they can be like quite heavy in terms of storage. I like the fact that with SCORG Alto that you don't have a storage, like there's no limit to storage. Like on my local computer, I had to delete some files because the CFD files got too big. But on SCORG Alto, you have unlimited storage basically.